Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from J. Doyle Field here in East Brunswick, it is football as East Brunswick hosts Colonia in a Greater Middlesex Conference crossover game. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder, being joined by Phil Hill. And, folks, if you notice that we look a little different than the last time we were on the air, that's because it's about a 40-degree difference.
It's a little chilly up here.
It's a little chilly, and it's obviously cold and perhaps wet on the field. In prior years, okay, if this situation developed, I would say that East Brunswick might be a little trouble because they rely a little on their passing game, but not so this year.
The E-bone is working. I tell you, Ryan Costantino, the heady quarterback, has the E-bone working in fine fashion. Jim, most of the time you think that we've talked for years about the E-bone developing basically around the fullback and whatnot. They've got it so that you got to respect everything. And just as soon as you think you got to get the pitch guy or the quarterback, John Mullane, the fullback, shoots up the middle for a touchdown. So they got the E-bone running very well. This team, Jim, is 5-2, and they've already qualified for state playoffs under the Marcus Borden rules, so to speak.
Best eight.
The best eight. But you better believe they like to be able to walk in the door and say, hey, listen, we're in the top four. We would have home field advantage. And they've already showed, I think, people in the county that they're a solid team. This is a team that knocked off Serval, previously undefeated Serval, 27-13, I believe, and they manhandled them. Mm-hmm. They really did. They manhandled them. Serval was a quick team, and the Bears seem to do a fine job with quick teams. J.P. Stevens was a quick team, and they can handle quickness. The question tonight is, can they handle power? This Colonia team is a huge team on the offensive line and defensive line, and they'll come right at you. And the Bears have the talent to flock to the ball and possibly stop this team. But Colonia is a power team, and the Bears are going to be using their quickness.
Okay, and as Phil mentions, tonight means all the difference in the world for East Brunswick. Then if they win, they will most definitely actually get the home field advantage for at least the first round of the playoff. If they lose, then it's on the road for however long they remain in the playoffs. Phil, the Colonia offensive thrust, what do you know about them?
They got a young player. He's only 165 pounds, Nick Ruda, a 1,000-yard rusher last year and has 840 yards coming into this game. And he comes right at you. He's a hard nose. Gives good second effort, very durable, and so we're going to watch out for him. He can run the ball up to 30 times a game.
Right.
He's the real workhorse for them. They have a fine quarterback in Dave Fazina. He's sort of like Ryan Costantino, built the same way, pretty strong, will run, put his head down and run when he has to. So they have some offensive power.
And last question, as we watch the seniors for the cheerleaders band and the football players being introduced behind us, is this a more improved East Brunswick game as we speak now?
This team is without a doubt. You got Brad Pleasant, 347 yards in his last 3 games. Hurley is contributing. Mullane is contributing. Costantino is at the helm. And there's complete confidence when he's there.
Okay. Well, we'll have a lot more to talk about this East Brunswick team. It should be an exciting, close game tonight, a lot at stake. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back with the kickoff after this.
Well, you're taking a look at the senior cheerleaders there. We'd like to run them down real quick. Bonnie Aberson and her mother, Fran Aberson, Michelle Seichert, and her parents, Charna and Harry Seichert, Gina Dagnes, and her parents, Jerry and Michael Dagnes, Dawn Grimin, and her parents, Donna and Bill Gurman, Kathleen Goodyan, and her parents, Kathleen and Attila Goodyan, Becky Phillips, and her parents, Joan and Steve Phillips. And there they are, and now we're going to try to catch up to the football players. And you got Ryan Costantino, the heady quarterback, being escorted by his parents, Lynn and Neil Costantino.
Yeah, I see. That's Ryan Cosentino on the screen right now.
And Jim, I talked about it. Been a true leader of this team. Has shown all sorts of poise, and I think that's what strikes you the most. You saw him at the Serval game, and he just had command of everything.
And we hope this is not his last home game, even though this is senior night.
Okay. That's Nathan Greenhut and his parents, Deborah and Victor Greenhut. And I want to tell you, Jim, Nathan Greenhut is one of the nicest young fellows that you ever want to meet. Not to mention, at 180 pounds on that offensive line, has to play against 230-pounders week in and week out, and does a good job. Okay, and here's Chris Hurley, the homecoming king, and he's being escorted by his parents, Hal and Pamela Hurley. And if we go back, I like to go back. I think we missed somebody early on, Avrin Bandera, and his parents, Vinod and Sned Bandera. I think they were the first ones to come out there.
Oh, Hurley's waiting for some reason. I don't know why. There is not a lot of people here at this point, but I want to tell you, it was tough getting in here traffic-wise. So I expect the crowd to grow as we move along here.
Okay, number 11, Tigran Kazarian, a senior as well, just stepped out. And he has his mother, it appears, and his sister. We don't have a name for them right now, but we'd like to recognize them.
And they're having photographs taken, which is why you see them posing.
Certainly a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Field looks in pretty good shape, Phil.
It certainly does.
Yep.
Number 39, David Konigsberg, 45. Brother Linda Konigsberg and his niece, Ashley.
Okay, David Konigsberg being escorted by his mother, Linda Konigsberg, and his niece, Ashley. And David is just one of those hard-hitting linebackers, has contributed well to this Bear team this season. Okay, we're going to try to keep it moving.
Number 85, Jason Lynch, 45. Bonnie and Tom Lynch.
Next is Jason Lynch, number 85, being escorted by his parents, Bonnie and Tom Lynch. And I believe Jason is injured. He's dressed fully, but I believe he's injured, probably won't see any action tonight. Okay, you heard it. Keith Mahoney, number 71, being escorted by his parents, Ruth Ann and Rich Mahoney. And Keith's just a fine player for the Bears as well. Unfortunately, did get injured, ACL and meniscus, and it sort of ended his season then. But just a super kid. Okay, David Oliver, number 77, being escorted by his parents, Pat and Jim Oliver. Pat and Jim very involved in the touchdown club, and David has just been the stalwart on the offensive line. Anytime you see them break one coming through the line there, David is probably leading the charge. And you see number 3, Brad Pleasant, about to come out, and that is his mother to the right there, and Coach Marcus Borden standing in for his father. His father's certainly a minister and probably busy tonight, but Brad Pleasant, the captain of this team, and has been quite a leader. Okay, now you have Keith Roman, number 57, being escorted by his Uncle Stanley and Aunt Janice. And Keith is going to get some action tonight on that offensive line. Keith coming back from injury himself. Well, I don't think we got to Matt Shalali. I think that's Zukas.
Okay.
At the line there. Matt being escorted by his parents, Connie and Les Zukas. And I'll tell you, Matt Zukas quietly could make a play for MVP. He's done a fine job at center on that offensive line and an outstanding job as linebacker. Matt Zukas. Okay, Jim, I thought we were going to have the band.
Well, if we had the band, we would be here till about 10 o'clock. So, tell you what, we're done with the with introductions. Why don't we take a short break, and we'll be back right after this.
Okay.
We are back at East Brunswick High School. Jimmy Allinder being joined by Phil Hill for this key matchup between East Brunswick and Colonia. Phil, Colonia is a Group 3 team, Central Jersey Group 3.
White
so,
division.
In a sense, what East Brunswick does to Colonia will not have any effect. By the way, East Brunswick won the toss and is deferred to Colonia, so I would sense that they're going to receive, which they will. So East Brunswick will have the choice in the second half.
And I'll tell you, Jim, you look at the monitor, you can see numbers there. As we look out there, it's almost impossible to see the numbers that they have on the Colonia team. They're light to very light yellow. And under these lights, they're just not picking up well. They're picking up better on the monitor.
Of course, some would say it has something to do with our age, but we'll let that go. All right, this should be an excellent game. East Brunswick, as we mentioned, steadily improving each passing game. Every game they play, they're outsized, but they run that E-bone as efficiently as I have seen it probably since Madison Central used to run it back when they were winning those state championships. I'm not saying they are as proficient, but the flow is definitely there.
Well, they're running it well, but they had some teams here. The Greg Colheim team ran Wishbone pretty well itself here, Jim. But they deferred, and they're going to go on defense first, the Bears. And why not? They held Serval to 32 yards on 11 attempts, Jim.
Right.
They very tough on South Brunswick, team they beat 36-10. Their defense had a will of a day, led by Chris Corsal. So they want their defense out there first.
And talk about defense. Don Sofokonic is the defensive coordinator for Colonia.
We'll be talking about that a little bit more tonight.
East Brunswick graduate.
Right, 1988. He graduated from East Brunswick, and matter of fact, coached here in 1994, 1995.
All right. So apologize, we will, to you guys out there, because we're going to have to use the glasses on occasion. There might be a little delay in recognizing players for Colonia, but we'll do our best. Okay, that is Cristianazzo kicking off, I believe, as he has since game 2, and we will be underway in just a moment. High kick. And that is number 21 returning it. That's Nick Ruda.
Nick Ruda, and you're going to hear his name all night, Jim.
Okay.
As I said, it's not unusual for him to carry the ball 25 to 30 times a game.
So Colonia will begin at the 33-yard line, its own 33-yard line. We are just underway here at East Brunswick High School, J. Doyle Field. And perhaps we can get some of the defensive sets for East Brunswick. They have done a marvelous job this year. And it'll be very interesting to see the line play as we start.
Nick Vizina, number 19, the quarterback for the Patriots.
And the give is to Ruda, who gets about 5 yards on that play.
And Jim, I'll tell you, you're going to hear his name a lot. Doesn't pick up the long yardage and whatnot. That's the way he runs. Picks up 5 yards here, 5 yards there. But very durable runner. And as you saw, the Patriots will come right at you.
We'll call that a 4-yard gain, making it 2nd and 6 for the Patriots. These teams have not met since 1985, right here on Thanksgiving Day. Fedzina is going to call a timeout.
I'll tell you, saw something he didn't like, and
well, I think he was pointing to the sideline as if there should have been somebody out there in the white set. So,
and you think you're right. Here comes a player out onto the field now.
As in number 11 player?
I'll tell you, actually they should be recognizing that before they break the huddle, though, Jim.
Right. And East Brunswick is called to the sidelines.
Okay, Nick Spadafino speaking to his defensive troops.
Phil, I honestly didn't think we'd be talking about state playoffs here. That East Brunswick had already clinched a spot, but it's now not only the first 4 teams, but it's the top 8 teams, with the top team right now being Hunterdon Central.
Hunterdon Central with
doing well.
63 power points. But I tell you, for all the talk about qualifying now, this Bear team wants to go in there in the top 4, saying that even if there wasn't the revised playoffs, we would be in it this year.
Right. Okay, they're going to start again. 2nd and 6 for Colonia. Fedzina gives to, well, let's see who is that.
That's a fullback. That's Timby Lakuba.
Number 3.
And right away, Chris Kersal.
Well, I've got it as Lukabu, so we're going to call it Lakabu. All right? Did you get a phonetic spelling on that or what?
Sort of, but your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, all right. He gets about a 3-yard gain on that, so that'll make it 3rd and 3. He was dragged by Chris Kersal, who we're going to mention a lot tonight. He's been doing really well.
Okay, a young lady help me. It's Lukabu, Jim.
Okay, there's a fumble, and let's see. If nothing else, it's going to bring up a 4th down for Colonia. Now, I was mentioning the cold tonight. This is really the first cold snap that we've had, and you wonder whether the players have been so comfortable playing in good conditions that may be a reason for the poor exchange. It is a 4th and 3 for Colonia, and what are they going to do?
Okay, the Bears haven't dropped back in position yet.
And the days of punting
wow.
are over.
Wow.
Could be a key play right here. Let's see.
Ooh, did he draw him off?
What they did is try to draw.
But the quarterback moved himself. Fazina moved, Jim.
And I would say a lineman for Colonia moved as well. So let's see what they're going to call here. No, they called on East Brunswick. And I got to tell you, he never went across the line.
Well, the point is, Jim, the whole object was for him to pull him off, but he moved prematurely himself, in my opinion. But nevertheless, the call goes the other way.
Well, from our vantage point up here, Phil, he'd have to cross the plane of the ball, and that never happened. So, whatever.
Big first down for the Patriots.
It's a big first down for Colonia. And there's the pitch to Ruda. No, I'm sorry, that's not him. Or is it? Yes, it is. Ruda, who gets really just 3 yards on that play.
90% of the time when they're running, Jim, it will be Ruda.
Okay. As well as Lukabu. Okay. Gain of 2.5, 3 yards, making it 2nd and 7.
And this Patriot team can pass, Jim. They like to come at you, but they have the ability to pass the ball as well.
Okay. Fedzina. Hammered.
I tell you.
And who was on that tackle?
That was McCluskey coming up as well.
Okay, you have no excuse on East Brunswick.
I tell you, Corio and McCluskey coming up to make the tackle there on Fazima, running the option.
Gain of 3 yards on the play, 3rd and 5. Another big play.
And you might want to look out for Ritz Pizza. Peter Ras Bitsy.
Okay.
I got help here.
Fedzina is back to pass. Now he's going to run with it and gets enough for the first down. Utilize his quickness.
I'll tell you, Fedzina being a little heady himself there. He did look, everyone was covered, Jim.
Right.
Hole opened up, and he did run through it.
And Gagnon was the tackler on that play. So another first down for Colonia, their second. They advanced the ball to just outside the 40-yard line of East Brunswick. First down. The give is to Ruda. Tries to get outside, but he's met first by number 26, McCluskey. And he gets about 2 yards on the play. This is an attacking East Brunswick defense.
This is an attacking. They've been like that this all year, Jim. They're just aggressive. Like I said, not very big, but they will come at you.
And Ruda was really just stood up right there, and then after McCluskey got him, the rest of the team came in. So it's 2nd and 8. Ball inside the 40-yard line on the 39. There's the pitch to Ruda. He looks for some room outside, cuts inside, gets good yardage on that play.
And Zuka's coming over to make the tackle. And I talked about Zuka's been doing the job on both sides of the ball all year.
And Colonia with this drive starting on their own 33-yard line after the kickoff. It is now down to 7 minutes left in the first quarter, so already 5 minutes have been erased from the clock.
What they're trying to do is give East Brunswick some of their own medicine, control the ball themselves to keep it away from the speedy East Brunswick team.
Give to Ruda, and he is met this time.
Mercy. I'll tell you, a host of tacklers, Jim.
A yard gain, perhaps, and that makes it 4th down.
And Chris Kersau once again leading the charge. And number 44, Justin Hill, coming in the game.
Okay.
His second quarter this year, so I know he's hungry.
Okay, good stop here for East Brunswick if they can get it. Fezina gets enough. Whoa!
And he's still going.
Runs right behind his line.
And he's running behind Mr. Brophy, Jim. And Sean Brophy, he's only 6'4", 255 pounds.
So with that first down, that's their third. Colonia is marching. They're down to the 21-yard line, first down. Fezina under center. Takes it, throws it out, and gets away from one tackler.
And you're right, a missed tackle out there, Jim. And a young player picked up some additional yardage.
Well, they say he's just short of the first down. It's going to be 2nd and inches, really. They were able to get a look at it on the sideline.
I'll tell you, a great down to do anything, Jim. 2nd and inches. You can play action off this if you like. You can power, which seems to be the most reasonable thing to do.
And we have a whistle. I think East Brunswick called timeout just before that play was run. And I don't know who called that timeout, Phil, but...
Well, but maybe it came from sideline. Nick Spadafino walking out on the field and want to talk to his defensive troops.
Right.
Good thing the timeout did come. It appeared that they easily had that first down.
Yes. And it's a running play as well. All right, so there is 5 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in the first quarter. This is Colonia. Well, that's East Brunswick you're looking at, but Colonia has the ball, and they are really on the move here. They're down to the 11-yard line. They have a second and just about a foot to go. They took the opening kickoff from their 34-yard line and have just sustained a drive here.
Well, Jim, this is a hungry Colonia team. This is a team that had beaten Cerevel 7-6 and beat Piscataway 19-18, and then were shocked last week by JFK 19-14. So they want to get back on track.
Didn't they lose to Cerevel?
They lost to Cerevel 7-6. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, another quarterback sneak by Vizina, and he gets a first down. He has a first down down to the 4-yard line.
Vizina, tough kid, I tell you, just plowing in there.
Well, they'll mark it, just about on the 4. Vedzina is the quarterback, gives to Ruda, who walks into the end zone.
I tell you, powers into the end zone.
Wow.
And Jim, that's the nature of this Patriot team. They're not fancy, they're not pretty. They just come right at you, and they took that ball right down the field with nothing but power football.
So Nick Ruda gets on the board for Colonia, a 4-yard run, coming with 4:37 left to go here in the first quarter, and Colonia is out to a 6-0 lead. The extra point attempt. The extra point attempt will be by Respizzi, excuse me. And
no good.
Kick is not good.
All right. I'll tell you, a big break for the Bears there. Again, nearly 8 minutes of the Bears, the Patriots have controlled that ball. And if you're Coach Ben LaSala, that's exactly what you want to do. Take some time off the clock and have long drives, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, at least East Brunswick's had a good look at that offense.
So
they can make some adjustments.
Well, I talked about it at the top of the game, Jimmy, that East Brunswick, with the fast teams, the Cervels and the J.P. Stevens, they have the quickness in their defense to run those guys down. This is a different brand of ball. They're clearly outsized on the offensive and defensive line there, and here's a team that is running straight at them, and it's a little bit different.
So let's see who's kicking off for Colonia. That's Fedzina, who appears to have it lined up. Lofts one, gathered in. That's number 34 for the Bears, Mullane, I believe.
That's John Mullane, yes it is.
Yes, okay. And East Brunswick will begin on its own 30-yard line. So this is the first opportunity we've had tonight to see the East Brunswick offense.
Well, I'll tell you, Ben LaSalle says they've faced a different type of offense just about every week. They've had some option. Kennedy ran some option and whatnot, and we know the results of that. It'd be interesting to see how the Bears are going to come out.
Ryan Cosentino, the quarterback, averaging 82 yards rushing per game, is the quarterback, number 15. Give up the middle, probably Pleasant, right? We can't quite tell. No, it's not. That's Mullane.
And I'll tell you, everybody's talked about the options, the pitching, and so forth. I think Marcus Borden may give them a different look. Instead of shooting everything to the outside, surprise him and give it to the fullback more than he normally does.
Phil, I want to mention that Colonia is not a big squad, and I can see already that a number of their players are going both ways.
They go both ways, no doubt about it.
I wonder if that could be a factor later on in the game, if fatigue sets in. We shall see. That was a gain of 4 yards on the play by Mullane. So Cosentino, and let's see. Problem with the deception is you don't get to see who it is that ran.
Well, I tell you, you talked about the Colonia and whether they're fatigued or not. They were down 15 points in the fourth quarter against Perth Amboy, and they came back, Jim. So
Yes.
these guys are probably big but in condition as well.
That was Mullane carrying, and he didn't get anything really.
Well,
So
again,
about
that's
3rd and 6.
That's 2 carries for Mullane, and many times he can go 3 quarters and not get 2 carries. So clearly the Bears are coming out with something different.
Cosentino has it, keeps it himself, but they corral him.
I'll tell you, he's racked. No,
Yep.
this team is the Patriots not only big but aggressive as well.
And East Brunswick's going to be in a punting situation. It's going to about 4th and 5. Deep for Colonia is Nick Risco. Cosentino will be the punter for the Bears. 2:37 and counting in the first period. Colonia with a 6-0 lead. Cosentino has a lot of time. Gets a line drive that's going to bounce, and Risco's going to let it go.
He just let it go.
And Hurley picks it up on about the 24-yard line, and that's where the Patriots will begin once again. So East Brunswick with a job here to do. They have to stop him.
Well, again, they're not going to see anything fancy by the Patriots. They're going to continue to use that great size they have on the offensive line and play power football.
Dave Farrer, I see, is a nose guard right now for East Brunswick. Fazina pitches to Ruda, gets around 1 tackle, and that is too many yards for an East Brunswick team that has been shutting down a lot of offenses.
Well, I tell you, you're right about that, Jim. But Colonia looks like they can mix it up pretty well.
Well, from what I can see, that quarterback, Dave Fazina, really knows what he's doing back there. A first down for the Patriots once again, and they're on the 39-yard line. East Brunswick has to make a stop here. Give to Ruda. Has a little bit of a hole, and that's enough to give him about a 3-yard gain.
And Zuka's coming up to make the first hit.
We talked about the fatigue before for Colonia. You got to wonder if East Brunswick's defense is being called on to stop these long drives.
Well, the thing, anytime you stay on the field a long time, anytime a defense has to stay on the field a long time, sooner or later it's going to take its toll. It's too early to talk about that, though.
2nd and 7. Fazina back to pass. And a little underthrown.
Okay, Tom Zold putting pressure
That
on
pass
Fazina.
was intended for Risco. The incomplete pass makes it 3rd and 7.
Okay, Hill coming out and Corio coming in. Their pass defense.
Now let's see if they can get, if this is a passing situation, see if they can get a little bit of a rush on Fazina. He really has had his way so far. He is back. He's going to take it himself. He's got room and gets another first down.
I'll tell you, that's a design play too, Jim. He wasn't going to pass. He went back as if he was going to pass. That's a draw play, quarterback draw. And you're right, he's a bull.
And, Phil, that is about the 4th time that Colonia has been faced with a 3rd or 4th down and has converted.
Well, they're gamblers, Jim, and this Fedzima is, I tell you, pretty much like Ryan Cosentino.
He is. And, Colonia is now in East Brunswick territory on their 49-yard line with yet another first down. Down to 35 seconds left to go in this first period. Fast-moving first period. Fedzina to Ruda. Lots of room. They're just plowing forward.
I'll tell you, Ruda. Ruda's moving and picking up good yardage there.
And I have to think that may be the last play of the first quarter. We will see. Colonia is taking its time. And yeah, they're just going to wait till the clock runs out. So an impressive first quarter for the Patriots, doing really everything on the ground, except for one pass completion, I believe. First quarter ends with Colonia ahead 6-0. They took the opening drive and went down the field, 66 yards, resulting in a Nick Ruda touchdown from 4 yards out, and that is where we stand.
Well, Jim, it's been ball control by the Patriots, and as I said, East Brunswick not unfamiliar with it. That's what they've done to several teams, control the ball offensively to keep it out of the other team's offensive hands, and the Patriots have done it very well this first quarter.
Right. Phil, I heard you talking about a couple of players who would not be suiting up for tonight. Are these players that have been out for quite a while, or are these recent injuries?
Some of these are recent injuries. You got Adam Fleschauer, I believe, is injured and out. Of course, Keith Mahoney's out for the year. Jason Lynch, I think, is injured. Darren Mazzy is out for the year. But let's back to the action.
Okay. It is a second and four for the Patriots. Fedzina gives to Ruda and is stopped just short of the first down. Believe that was Corsali on the stop.
I'll tell you, Jim, it's hard to believe Nick Ruda is 5'9", 165 pounds.
Yeah, he drags people.
I mean, he slams up in there.
Third and 1. Quarterback sneak by Fedzina.
And he picks it up easily.
Nothing fancy. Hill was in on that tackle. So another first down for the Patriots. I think that's about their 7th. And quite frankly, East Brunswick has not shown an ability to stop Colonia.
Because it's power, Jim. They're just too big. They're just too big up front.
I guess what's concerns me, Phil, is that East Brunswick has been faced with these types of situations before this year, and they have stopped the opponent.
They haven't been faced with anybody that strong up front. Piscataway was strong, but they ran away from you. These guys are coming right at you.
Pitches to Ruda, and I believe they're going to, and that's one way to stop Colonia.
A clip, I believe.
Right. Looks like your son actually was the recipient of that clip by number 22, Riska. So from that spot, it's going to be it's a holding penalty. So they'll march him back 10 yards. And East Brunswick will graciously take that penalty.
I tell you, what the Bears need is they need a turnover, something to interrupt this momentum that the Patriots have established, Jim. You got to do something to get them out of sync.
So that was from the spot of the foul. So in effect, it turns out to be a 7 yards from the first down marker. So we'll make it 1st and 17 for the Patriots. We are in the second period. Colonia ahead 6-0. Whoops, a fumble by Fedzina. Another fumble.
I'll tell you.
And a lineman finally falls on it.
I'll tell you, that's like a Chinese fire drill there, Jim. First of all, you had players on the defense for East Brunswick trying to get in place, and then you had the consecutive fumbles by the Patriots there. They are fortunate to get the ball back. We just talked about the need for a turnover for the Bears, and they almost had it there.
So that was about an 8-yard loss. So if you add everything up, it looks to me like Colonia needs about 25 yards for a first down. It is 2nd down. So a key situation for East Brunswick. They really have Colonia where they want them. The give is up the middle to Ruda, and number 76 on that stop.
I'll tell you, and that
was Farrer.
Dave Farrer making a nice tackle there, but Fedzina nearly bobbled that ball once again, Jim.
will bring up a third down.
And only 23, Jim.
Yeah, you say that in jest, but you know, the way this Colonia team has been moving the ball, first of all, they're in East Brunswick territory. You got to wonder if they don't make it on fourth down, whether they decide to go for it.
Okay, look for Risco or Retspizzi.
Retspizzi. Give to Fazina, who has room. Nope. They close it off. Gain of about 6 yards on the play. And it would appear that this is the first time that East Brunswick has stopped Colonia. And the Patriots will be faced with a punting situation.
And if you're the Patriot punter, what you want to do is kick it high enough to...
Deep for East Brunswick is Pleasant, as well as Hurley, I believe. Low line drive. It's going to be gathered in by Chris Hurley, who heads on the sideline, still on his feet.
A nice run by Chris Hurley
And
there.
it was a good return.
I'll tell you, now we talked about the need for the Patriots to kick it high, being that the Bears didn't have that much room, and they did just the opposite, kick the line drive, and Hurley picked up some good yardage, Jim.
All right, with 8:19 left to go in the second quarter, East Brunswick with its second opportunity. They were 3 and out the first time they had the ball.
You got to wonder if we're going to see some passing.
I was thinking the same
because,
thing, Phil.
You know, maybe it's too early to get away from your E-bone because it's been good to you this year. But we'll see what happens this series.
And certainly Ryan Cosentino has a great arm. He just hasn't had to use it. Ball is on the 28-yard line of East Brunswick. First down for the Bears. And Cosentino is going to look long. He had
no one right
King.
there, Jim.
Well, King was the intended receiver, but that ball was thrown about 10 yards ahead of King.
And Cosentino took a shot there.
Right, and
But,
if Rob King had just kept on running, I think maybe he would have had him.
I don't know if he would have caught that, Jim.
Okay.
But as we mentioned, they did come out passing. It looked like the Patriots pretty much had a handle on their option offense, and the Bears have come up with something different. I expect them to go back to the E-bone, though.
Okay, well, Ryan Cosentino demonstrated just how strong of an arm he has with that pass. That was a rope. 2nd and 10. Cosentino, pitch, but they're going to close in on him. And Hurley really actually loses yards on that play.
I'll tell you, the defensive end on that side doing a nice job containing. That's his job, to turn the play in for the Patriots. He turned it in and got help from the other defensive players.
Phil, just from looking at this, it seems like East Brunswick may have a little difficulty running that.
I'm surprised the Patriots are handling the option as well as they are.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 13. King is split wide to the top. He's the only one. Cosentino.
Good fake.
Fades. And Hurley had it in his fingertips.
I'll tell you, just off his hands there.
Got to tell you, Brad Pleasant was fading over here to the left. There was nobody around him. If Cosentino had just turned and thrown the ball to him, he was off to the races. They may talk. I know Marcus Borden's right in that vicinity,
right,
and he may look at that play later on. Well, anyway, it's a 4th down.
Once again, Bears not able to get their offense on track.
There is no wind to speak of, so Cosentino, there shouldn't be a noticeable difference in the length of the punt.
And he's an excellent punter, by the way, Jim.
Has a lot of time. Gets off a wobbly one that's going to take a bounce. Good bounce. Gathered up by Colonia. Gets by the one tackler. And now he's wrestled down. Looks like Farrer's one of the first ones there, along with Zukas. So Colonia will take over 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line, its own 44. 6-0 they lead.
Okay, Dave Farrar, his 2nd tackle. Would you tell the PA guy that's not smoke? That's Nobody's smoking. That's cold air
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
out.
Steam. Well, at least it's not Charlie King's cigars. Okay. Ruda breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and that is a very nice run.
I tell you, you're used to seeing that type of running by bigger backs, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's 165, and he's just taking it to him. I mean,
5'9", 165.
this is a kid who carried 34 times in a game, Jim.
Okay. And you're right about the fact that he's the feature back.
34 times against Serval.
2nd and 3. Fedzina looking long, finds his receiver across the middle, and wrestled down by Hurley just at the 7 or 8 yard line. That was blown coverage.
And let's see who that receiver is, Jim. Raspizzi, I believe. Raspizzi.
Number 33 or number 83, Raspizzi, right. Good, solid pass by Fedzina. And another first down for Colonia, down to East Brunswick's. Well, they mark it on the 10-yard line, so it is still 1st and goal, but they're going to have to go all 10 yards for the touchdown. 5:58 left to go in the second quarter. 6-0 Colonia, and they're looking to get more. Ruda, they got him this time.
I'll tell you, good hit.
Finally, they got some penetration in that backfield.
I think that's Cosentino coming up.
And Ruda gets perhaps a half yard on that play.
Along with Dave Farrar again.
So it'll be 2nd and goal. Fedzina calling the signals. He late pitch, but nonetheless, Ruda gets it and gets into the end zone. Wow.
And the Patriots coming up with an option of their own.
Phil, I almost thought that he was in the grasp, but
It
apparently
appeared he pitched it very late in the game.
very late.
And Ruda took it right in.
All right, so Colonia now jumps out to a 12-0 lead. And let's see if they go for 2. All right, the Patriots will go for 2. Fedzina with a pitch wide, and then, boy, I'll tell you what. And the momentum brought him right into the end zone. And East Brunswick was flat-footed on that one.
I'll tell you, the Patriots.
They really were.
The Patriots pulling out all the stop. And you talk about East Brunswick being flat-footed. The fact of the matter is, Jim, they appear flat all the way around, offensively and defensively. It might be just one of those games, but they're not playing typical Bear ball that I've seen all year.
All right, so Ruda, with his second touchdown of 9 yards, coming at the 5:09 mark, makes it 12-0, and then the extra 2 points make it 14-0, and East Brunswick is in a hole. And I think what's alarming is that they really haven't shown an ability to move the ball on Colonia, as well as stop them.
I think what's alarming is that everybody's talking playoff, and you got to get in your playoff mold at this time. This is almost like a playoff game. It precedes it.
Because the playoffs are next week.
Next week, so you know.
Hurley and Pleasant are deep. Rapizzi. Oh. A little errant communication there. Pleasant comes up with it. However.
Mercy.
Yeah.
He's tackled on the 10, Jim.
Mullane was the one that attempted to field that, but probably should have yielded to Pleasant on that.
Well, it's hard to say. The ball's up there. It's coming at you.
So East Brunswick will start from deep in its own territory on the 10-yard line.
And from the 10-yard line, Jim, they got to stay with the E-bone here.
Absolutely.
You won't see any passing unless it's a pass to the flat here. Otherwise, they got to go with the E-bone.
Crowd not too excited, are they? Cosentino.
Ooh, the pitch.
Yep. Is that Hurley? Yes, it is.
I'll tell you, some good running by Chris Hurley there.
Right.
And I'll tell you, a good job of faking there. John Mullane did a nice job going into the line as if he had the ball. And Cosentino pitched it out to Hurley, who picked up some good yardage.
Right, and advances it right to the 20-yard line. That looks to be like a first down to me. No, I'm sorry, just shy. About another foot to go. Second and a foot. Cosentino with the keeper, still on his feet. And they're trying to lasso him.
They're trying to take that ball.
Not the right thing to do with Ryan Cosentino.
And I'll tell you, Jim, I've been impressed with Cosentino from day one. He is the heart and soul of this team, make no mistake about it. He's the fiery leader, too. He's the one, when you need the hard yardage, he's going to put his head down and get it, just as he did there.
And he did get himself about 14 yards on that play, easily a first down. So East Brunswick, with some breathing room, out to the 34-yard line, first down. Cosentino up the middle to Mullane, who cuts to the outside, still on his feet.
And a first down. And I'll tell you, good running by Johnny Mullane. John.
Up to the 46-yard line, 47-yard line they mark it. And a good run by John Mullane.
And that's what the Bears have to do. They have to get that mixture. They have to get their E-bone running there, mixing things up, try to get this Patriot team off balance a little bit so they don't know what's coming at them.
We're down to under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. This fast-moving first half. First down for the Bears on their 47-yard line. Whistle, we got a flag. And it's by the linesman, so you got to wonder what that is. Offside East Brunswick. One of their linemen lines up offside. That is a mistake. That is, I mean, it's a killer. It really is. In a situation like this where yards are hard to come by.
Marcus Borgness is asking an official which player.
And at this time in the season, these are the types of things that you have to have down pat. So it'll be a 1st and 15 for East Brunswick.
And they're in tight. They look like they're running.
Up the middle.
And that's Mullane on the carry.
Mullane gets a few.
Surprised they came out with that set, Jim. Second and long.
Well, now it's second down, 2nd and 15. But I'm quite frankly, I'm more concerned with the clock.
Okay,
we're under 3 minutes now.
I thought it was second. Okay, it's second down now.
Yeah,
not a bad.
And East Brunswick's going to have to step it up here. Cosentino keeps it, pitch wide to Pleasant, gets some good yards.
Ooh,
and there's a flag for a late hit, I believe.
Hit out of bounds, yeah.
Wow, that was not a good penalty for Colonia. Two penalties in a row here that were not good. So not only good yardage by Brad Pleasant, but you can tack on 15 yards after that. So East Brunswick will probably have the ball down on near the Colonia 30-yard line.
And Brad Pleasant's used to running, Jim. He had three touchdowns against Searleville, 93 yards on 18 carries. Against South Brunswick, he had 2 touchdowns, 205 yards.
You know, Phil, I got to tell you, I'm not quite sure. That penalty was marked off from the 50-yard line right then. What? From the 47 over here, Pleasant went out of bounds, down by the 35. I can't quite figure that out.
You got me.
Nonetheless, East Brunswick with a first down.
Wow.
Looks like Cosentino's going to keep it, cuts inside, and gets good yardage. And another first down.
Another first down, but he did have a receiver open, Jim. A receiver out there by themselves.
Well, he didn't see him, but
That was Teddy Nemec, the tight end,
okay.
wide open. But you're right, he didn't see him. But Cosentino picking up very good yardage.
And the Bears now have a first down on the 24-yard line of Colonia. They would dearly like to score before this quarter ends. Cosentino up the middle to Mullane.
And I tell you, the Bears are mixing things up well right now, Jim. Getting back into the flow of the E-bone.
Right. A gain of about 3 yards, a little over 3 yards, 2nd and 7. A minute 40 left to go. Cosentino keeps it himself, almost gets away, and drags himself down just about a yard shy. And East Brunswick really has to hurry up here. Maybe they might call a timeout. Let's see. It is 3rd and 2. I don't believe they've used a timeout yet, have they, Phil?
One.
All right. The give is up the middle
To Mullane.
Mullane, and now you got to think they're going to use a timeout here. Yeah, that's good for a first down.
Now let's see where they mark it, Jim.
It is a first
Okay.
down. And I got to tell you, East Brunswick is just taking its country time here. Ball is on the 14-yard line. First down for East Brunswick. And Cosentino gets nailed.
I tell you, and a good thing he didn't pitch, Jim.
And East Brunswick finally calls a timeout with 44 seconds. Phil, I got to tell you, I don't think that's good clock management right there. There was an awful lot of time taken off the clock, and now East Brunswick is faced with just 44 seconds left to go. Now they have to go towards the end zone.
Well, Jim, it's
They
just
have one timeout left.
It's just the second down, and I guess their thinking is with the 50-something seconds they had, they can do an awful lot with it.
Well, we shall see. This crowd is oh so
A
quiet.
very quiet crowd.
Not unlike what we're used to here. This has always been a reserved crowd at East Brunswick.
Plate.
Polite crowd. I like that terminology. That's good.
I'd look for your tight end here, Teddy Nemec.
Okay,
Jim.
East Brunswick really cannot afford to waste too much time. Cosentino fakes. Is he open? Yes, he is. And it is a touchdown.
All right.
And that's the way to use your clock.
Teddy Nemec has been a reliable receiver. Hasn't had a whole lot of passes thrown his way, but when they come his way, he catches them.
All right. And East Brunswick is on the board. I got to tell you, Phil, I was quite concerned there that they were not going to have enough time. And that touchdown coming with just 38 seconds left to go in the second quarter brings East Brunswick closer now. It is 14-6. This is a very important extra point by Chris Yanazzo. Kick is up and looks good.
I'll tell you, Jim, Teddy Nemec did an excellent job on selling the run. He went in as if he was going to block for a run, and then he broke out to be wide open there. An excellent job by Teddy Nemec.
Right.
And, of course, Ryan got the ball right on the money.
And I'm looking for, that is the 5th touchdown pass of the season for Mr. Cosentino. And more importantly, East Brunswick draws closer to Colonia. And can't tell you how much of a difference it means to walk off this field if the score remains this way, down 14-7, than being behind 14-0.
Well, two good things happened there. Number one, of course, they scored. They got the they scored. The second thing is they got their offense moving in that series.
I haven't heard the band all game here, and now I see them out there. It looks like
they're getting ready for their halftime show.
Inazo kicks it low to avoid the run back. Ball is touched and fallen on.
I'll tell you, the player.
Yeah, he had his knee on the ground. That was a late whistle. So Colonia will have the ball on its own 27-yard line.
And let's see if Fedzima will be happy just to hand the ball off, or with 34 seconds, they're awfully tight there. And that's exactly what they're going to do, is hand it off, Jim, or take the knee.
And they do. You're right about that one. And let's see. Yes, it will. That will be the last play of the second quarter. Teams watch the clock. And they're going to just watch the clock count down.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been an interesting first half, Jim.
They approach the line, but they do not have to make the snap because the clock was 23 seconds. You need 25 to get it off. So that is the end of the first half of play. East Brunswick coming back from a 14-0 deficit to make the score 14-7. Things are in considerably better shape than they were a couple minutes ago for the Bears.
Better shape because they finally got their offense going. They had a few defensive stops, and then they needed to get the E-bone going. They got good mixture there. Pleasant picking up yards, Mullane picking up yards, and Ryan Cosentino as well. And then he comes up with the big pass play to Nemec. So they're back in the game there. The big question in the second half, are they going to be able to stop the power game of the Patriots?
And you got to bet that's what they're going to be coming out with. Okay, so we are going to take a break here at halftime. East Brunswick down 14-7 to Colonia. We will be back for the second half kickoff after this. All right, we are back here at halftime of the East Brunswick-Colonia football game. Colonia winning 14-7. And you see on the field senior members of the band being introduced and marching properly. Already Michael Chen, accompanied by his parents Shine Fen and Harry. David Fenster, accompanied by his parents Isabel and Bob. This is Adam Guyette and his parents Melody and Sandy. Chrissy Kegler and her parents Suzanne and Ed Tobias. Next is Andy Levis and his mother Shelley Bloom, followed by Frank Mamoni and his parents Mima and Joe. Lara Perezman and her parents Gail and Joel. Jessica Peepin and her parents Evelyn and Armand. This is Liat Perlman and her parents Sanita and Yoram. Evan Ross and his parents Hope and Paul. This is Jessica Schiffman and her parents Marcia and Philip. Now this is Matthew Slobodow and his parents Deborah and Michael. Michael Sabata and his parents Monica and Norman. Victor Varconi and his parents Maria and Rudolph. And last, Michael Wolfson and his parents Lori and Russ. And they are the senior members of the East Brunswick Band. And we are back at East Brunswick High School, where the Colonia Patriots hold a 14-7 lead over East Brunswick. We just were treated to a fine rendition of Miss Saigon by the award-winning East Brunswick Band, and are about ready to start this second half. Phil, you have anything?
Yeah, we just got a few statistics there. The leading rushers for their respective team, Ryan Costantino, 6 carries for 30 yards thus far this first half. And Nick Ruda has 13 carries and 60 yards and 2 TDs. And, of course, Ryan has a 14-yard touchdown pass to Teddy Nemec.
Okay. Captains will meet at the middle of the field. Recall that East Brunswick deferred to the second half, so I imagine they are going to want the ball.
Well, you better believe they're going to want the ball. They had something going at the end of that first half, Jim, and that's a great way to go into the locker room. And they want to see if they can come out this third period and make sure that it carries over.
So there you have it. East Brunswick will receive, defending to the goal to our right. Colonia will kick off, and we will start this second half, which should be interesting. A lot at stake here in terms of pride, home field advantage. I hate to use that word advantage because it doesn't appear as though anybody's going to knock Hunterdon Central from the top.
One never knows.
Manalapan is 7-1.
You still got to play the game.
Right.
You never know, Jim. Just that injuries can play a big part. You lose one key performer, it can be a big deal. But you're right, Hunterdon Central, with 7 games, has 63 power points. Nobody's going to knock them from the top in the sense that they're going to have more power points than anybody regardless.
I'll tell you what, though, Manalapan is hosting Middletown South tonight. Okay. And Middletown South is not a bad team. They have a 5-2 record. Manalapan is 6-1. And East Brunswick, I believe, would pass Manalapan with a win tonight.
I said 63. Of course, I meant 82 power points.
82 power points.
Hunterdon Central has.
And they're already done.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Who else is in that mix?
Well, you got Manalapan, then you have Serval with a 6-2 record with 57 power points. Piscataway, 5-2 record with 56 power points. And then you have Hillsborough, 6-2, done already with 55 power points.
So you really have 3 teams who have already concluded their 8-game minimum.
That's right.
And so the teams tonight, Manalapan, Saraville, and East Brunswick. Right. Okay, we are underway.
That's pleasant.
Gets a little bit of room. Nice run for the running back.
And
there's
got a flag.
Flag. What's that all about? That was thrown in the vicinity of number 26 for East Brunswick, McCloskey. And they're going to call a clip on East Brunswick. So a nice run back by the Bears is negated by that penalty, and they will start on their own 24-yard line. Phil, I wish I had a chance to talk to the official for the that penalty mark-off, even though East Brunswick was able to score. I don't quite understand why that clipping call at the end of that run by Pleasant wasn't marked off as additional yardage. It seemed like they went back behind the line of scrimmage. Don't quite know, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. East Brunswick will start off on its own 24-yard line. First down. We are underway in the second half, third quarter. East Brunswick down 14-7. Ryan Costantino has been the quarterback, and he has the ball right now.
He
makes a cut to the outside, gets additional yardage, and a good run for Costantino.
I'll tell you, he's been doing it all year, Jim. And we talked about the need for the Bears to come out this second half and reestablish their E-bone and get things going here. And that's certainly an excellent way to begin it.
And you have a 25-yard run there for Costantino.
He's just an amazing young athlete.
So a first down for the Bears, the way they wanted to start this second half. They appear much more comfortable in this offense now. Give is to the second back. That is who?
That is Hurley, I believe. Let's see.
You're right. Hurley's the last one off that pile. Gets 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7. East Brunswick is now in Colonia territory.
Once again, their E-bone package.
A little movement by Colonia. However, Cosentino still on his feet.
I'll tell you. Cosentino handing out some punishment, Jim.
Yeah. Well, he averages 82 yards per game. He had 30 in the first half, and I believe he's close to already matching that for the second half.
And he's coming here with about 600-plus yards this year already.
Right. Okay. Gain of 4 on the play makes it 3rd and 3. Ball is on the 44-yard line of the Patriots. And I think they caught Colonia jumping.
They jumped the previous play, Jim, and sort of got away with it. And this time they got caught. And that'll be a first down, Jim.
Yes, exactly. Ball marked on down to the 38-yard line.
And you got to know that's something Ryan's doing with the cadence there, Jim, to pull them off.
This is Cosentino. Gives the ball off to the first back, who gets
that's Mullane.
About 2 yards. Yeah, it's pretty much not rocket science. The first back usually is the fullback.
Right.
And if it's given to the second back, it's usually Hurley or Pleasant.
Or Pleasant.
Or Pleasant may be the wide man on the pitch. That was just about a gain of 1, so we'll make it 2nd and 9. Cosentino through the hole, drives forward. And a decent pickup.
And I'll tell you, when you think of all the great quarterbacks, Kilkenny, Colheim, Hops, the various wishbone quarterbacks that the Bears have had, Cosentino has to go right up there.
I've maintained that.
It's a different style. He has a different style and whatnot, but just as effective.
Colheim, perhaps the real ground gainer.
Oof, mercy.
He could get 100 yards in a flash.
He's unbelievable.
Yes. Okay, a 3rd and 5 for East Brunswick. Ball's on the 35 of Colonia. Cosentino has a room, but they close it fast, and he is going to be a little bit short. Let's see where they mark it. Actually, he's going to be about 2 yards short.
And Jim, once again, difficult for us to get the numbers of this Colonia team. Not only are they light, they're thin. And the numbers are, so very difficult to pick up from where we sit.
Yeah, we really can't give credit to those tacklers for Colonia. So it is a 4th down, about 2.5, maybe 3 yards for the Bears. They need to get the ball just shy of the 30-yard line, actually inside the 30-yard line. Cosentino, he's pitches. Hurley gathers it in.
I'll tell you.
Wow.
Dangerous, Jim.
That was a dangerous play.
I'll tell you, Hurley did a good job to hold on to the ball there, but he bobbled it initially and was able to pull it in, Jim, before he went out of bounds.
Well, I thought that Cosentino would have the presence to know that he was going to get the first down if he held on to it. But nonetheless, that was the design play, and so they get the first down and more.
And the point is the E-bone is working right now, Jim.
Right. Ball is down on the 22-yard line. East Brunswick, as Colonia did taking the first half kickoff, is taking this second half kickoff and has marched down the field. They have a first down on the 22-yard line of the Patriots. 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. It is 14-7 Colonia. Cosentino keeps it, and there's a fumble. and it's out of bounds. And East Brunswick retains possession. I thought for sure that Colonia player had it.
Well, I'll tell you, the Colonia player had it, Jim, but he had parts of his the ball must have touched the in line as well.
He never had it. That was Dennis Dubois, who appeared to have recovered that fumble, but you're right, he never had control of it, and the ball continued to go out of bounds. So a break for East Brunswick. They end up getting a 3-yard gain out of that.
And one thing that you got to be cognizant is Costantino's taking a lot of shots right now, Jim.
Costantino gives to Pleasant. He cuts up the middle, and he is in for a touchdown. Brad Pleasant, one of the few times he's carried the ball tonight, actually.
I'll tell you, Brad Pleasant, Jim, I talked about it earlier, the big games that he had against Searleville, 3 TDs, the 205 yards against South Brunswick, and he breaks away one there. The 205 yards against South Brunswick put him in 3rd place on the all-time list, just ahead of Dave Kurzow.
So the touchdown coming with 7:47, and pardon the pun, but Pleasant turned on the Jets that time. And this is, again, an important extra point attempt to tie the game. Kick is up and through, and we have a tie game.
Okay, Christian Oswald's been steady as the day is long. And again, we talked about the E-bone finding itself and whatnot. It certainly has. The Patriots seem somewhat confused. At least they don't know what to expect at any one time. And Pleasant just turned it up nicely there. But that was set up by the good mixture of plays, handing off to Mullane, Costantino keeping, and finally Pleasant taking it in.
All right, so we have a new game now.
And Christian Oswald will kick off once again.
Well, it's a long way to go, but if for some reason this game ends tied, we would go to the playoff format, which would each team would get the ball at each other's 20-yard line, I believe, for 4 cracks.
25, I think it
25, okay. Do you need oxygen, sir?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, there's the kickoff, and settles down on about the 15-yard line. I'm sorry, we don't know who that is.
Let's see. We'll tell right off.
We're going to look at the monitor and find out that that was number 22. So that was Ruda, who was in the right place.
Okay.
Their feature back, Colonia, with a decent field position on their own 33-yard line, and East Brunswick, after that successful second-half drive, ties the score. And this is the first time Colonia has touched the ball in the second half.
All right. That was Risco. Nick Risco.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay. Bedzina. That's Ruda. And he is nailed this time.
I'll tell you, nice job there.
See who that tackle was by.
That is Crisal.
Yes, it is. Chris Crisal.
I'll tell you, had a monster game against South Brunswick and is picking up right here.
He racked up Ruda on that. Nick got maybe a half yard. So it is a 2nd and 9.
They're spread wide, Jim. You got to wonder if they're going to pass here.
Well, I think Fedzina is as much a threat as a runner as he is a passer. Gives the ball to the left side, and that was Risco that time. Got yardage up to the 39-yard line.
And Tom Corio on the tackle.
So it is a gain of 6, making it 3rd and 4. And a little bit of an important play right here.
I'd say an important one here. And
if East Brunswick can stop them, forcing Colonia to punt.
Their MO has still find some way to get the ball to Ruda. Let's see.
Okay. And let's see. It's wow. I'll tell you what.
That's
I think he's going to be short.
He's short, definitely, Jim. But
couple of hits.
Fine effort by the young fella.
They mark it. I'd say he's going to be short by about a half a yard. They're going to come out and measure it. We shall see.
Wow.
It is a first down.
I'll tell you, just amazing effort by the young fella. 165 pounds.
And that was an important first down. Colonia retains possession in their own territory. .5:49 left to go in the third quarter. We are tied, and there is a pass. Gathered in by Ritzko.
Okay, McCluskey and Hurley in on the tackle.
And that's good for about a 6-yard gain. Second and 4, we'll call it. Ball is on the Colonia 49-yard line. Ritzko gives to Ruda. They rack him up that time.
Well, now that's Lukabu.
Lukabu, okay.
Timway Lukabu.
I'm glad you're seeing these guys because I really can't
well,
tell the
I just knew it was
difference.
somebody other than than Ruda.
Okay.
Lukabu, 6'2", 195-pound fullback.
All right. And you know what? He's a sophomore.
He's just a soph.
Yes.
Ooh.
So really no gain on that play, making it another 3rd and 4 situation. This is important. Fedzina gets enough yardage. He breaks through.
Mercy.
You know, every time he's handled the ball, he's gotten good yards.
He's picked up good yardage. And he's a kid that offensively has looked as much like Ryan as any quarterback we've seen.
So the first down brings the ball down to the East Brunswick 36-yard line. That was a pickup of 15 yards. And once again, Colonia is on the move. This has been a game of sustained drives. Fezina to Ruda. Boy, does he have the ability to squeeze through tackles. He is quick. He gets to the line.
Explosive, Jim.
He really is.
Explosive and durable. I think the durability is what strikes me the most.
That was a solid 6-yard gain, 5.5 perhaps, making it second and just over 4 yards to go. Fezika, he keeps it himself. This time they have him, though. Still manages to get a few yards.
Tough kid. Tough kid.
2-yard gain. Makes it 3rd and 2.
Okay, Zook is leading the charge there.
I'll tell you what, this East Brunswick defense has had all it can handle tonight. Quarterback sneak by Fezina. Good for the first down. So the ball is marked on the 24-yard line. 2:35 left to go in the third quarter. The score is tied 14-14, but Colonia is marching down the field. Fezina gives to Ruda. I'm sorry, that was Fitzka. Well, now we have a new ball carrier, number 44. That is Dabrowski. James Dabrowski.
Okay, Raheem Bazero in on the tackle.
Gets just 1 yard on that play. So it is a 2nd and 9.
I'd be leery of the pass right here, Jim.
Okay. You have 2 wide outs for Colonia. Fadzina, long pitch. And the running back gets outside, and he is into the end zone.
Mercy.
And that was Mr. Ruda. One more time.
Well, we've heard it now. That's his 3rd touchdown tonight, Jim. But again, his second effort and determination, it just goes to show you it doesn't make any difference what size you are. If you got a big enough heart, Jim, and aggressive, you can make things happen, and he's made things happen.
So with 1:34 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it is now Colonia 20 and East Brunswick 14. This is an important extra point, as we said all evening. The last time the Colonia kicker had a lot of difficulty. Let's see what happens here. And this one's blocked.
Okay. That's Corio, I believe.
Okay. So the kicking game has not been successful for the Colonia Patriots tonight, and that could come back to bite them.
Just keep let's mark a red flag there, Jim.
Right.
Number 25, Tommy Corio, coming in to block that extra point, and that can prove to be very big.
So Colonia does regain the lead here. Can't tell you how hard it is to follow these numbers for the Patriots.
And it's a shame because we like to give them their players some credit, Jim. Right. They have some fine athletes out there. One of the fine athletes is Sean Brophy, 6'4", 255 pounds, and his uncle, Mike Brophy, is a phys ed teacher here at East Brunswick.
Right.
So a lot of family interest in this game.
A couple other Division I prospects, I believe.
That's for sure.
All righty. So the Patriots will kick off. Fadzina is the one that kicks it to Pleasant, who gets a little bit of room, but he's corralled now back to on the 35-yard line, and that's where the Bears will begin. Let's see what they can do. They seem to have found the answer to the E-bone.
And that was Lukuba and on the tackle.
Lukabu is 6'2", 200 pounds, sophomore. All right, 36-yard line will mark the ball. East Brunswick looking to score here to actually take the lead for the first time. We'll see what they can do. Cosentino, he keeps it, has good room.
Just a fine read by Cosentino there.
Good 11-yard gain on that play.
Just a fine read.
And a first down.
He faked the ball into Mullane.
Yep.
Mullane got racked, and he pulled it out and picked up some good yardage, just the way the E-bone's supposed to work.
East Brunswick, one of the nice things I like about this E-bone is that it's an up-tempo. And when a defense is reeling, it really just gives them no time to recover. Give is to Hurley, who cuts into the middle. More good yardage. And this is a reeling defense for Colonia right now.
I'll tell you right now.
They might do well to take a timeout.
And I'll tell you, once again, Ryan mixing it up very well. Hurley, as you see, has very good speed. Both Pleasant and Hurley, exceptional, and Mullane with good speed himself.
And that is another first down to the 35-yard line. 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 2 plays, 2 first downs for East Brunswick. Cosentino keeps it and bowls his way ahead for about a 4-yard gain. And that could be the last play of the third quarter.
Tommy McCluskey coming in the offensive huddle right now. This is something we did see Tommy McCluskey score a touchdown against South Brunswick last week.
Phil, you talked about the durability of Ryan Costantino. I thought I saw him limping a little bit. We'll have to see.
Well, he gets hit a lot, Jim.
And that is the end of the third quarter. They didn't quite get that play off. So with the score, Colonia 20 and East Brunswick 14, we have one more quarter to go. And we will see what happens. This has been a very well-played game. A game of long drive, one long drive after another.
After another, I tell you.
By both teams.
Sustained drives, and it bids well. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting ready for the playoffs, Jim.
Right. I understand what you're saying, Phil. That and that's why it's a good situation for East Brunswick. If they can come out on top and win this game, you have to believe that as we move further into the month, the elements are going to get even more difficult. Perhaps we're going to have more windier days. Certainly you can't depend on the passing game.
That's for sure.
And that used to be a problem for East Brunswick in the past when they depended so heavily on their passing. But not anymore. And this really is just a team that has found itself and is gaining confidence as we go along here. Now take a look at Ryan Costantino, Phil. He's walking a little bit slow.
Well, he seems to be all right to me,
yeah,
Jim.
He's all right, but he has taken a pounding.
But he's a physical player himself.
Right.
And he's rather durable himself. He's been doing it all year, handing out punishment rather than taking it.
So a gain of 4 on Costantino's last play makes it 2nd and 6. Ball is on the 32-yard line. Give up the middle to Mullane. Only gets a couple. That play has not really worked that well.
It's not working, but
you got to do it.
But you got to do it,
Yeah.
and it will break.
Right.
Particularly if they're running the outside with Hurley and Pleasant the way they have. Sooner or later, the defense is going to be concerned about that, and things will open up, and Mullane will take one up the middle.
Okay. The gain of 2 makes it 3rd and 4. We are certainly in 2-down territory now. East Brunswick needs to get to just about the 25-yard line. I think they got Costantino this time. He might have gotten about a yard on that play.
He's short of it, Jim.
Right. And they're going to mark him about 2 yards shy. Well, maybe more than that.
Will we see Inazo? Let's see.
Nah, it's too far away. 4th and 3. Just under 11 minutes left to play in this game. Colonia holding on to a 20-14 lead.
Okay, they're in their E-bone set, Jim, so they're going to run this ball.
And they have this wide side of the field to use. And give is no, they're not going to make it.
I'll tell you.
Pleasant was the second man out.
I'll tell you, swarmed under.
And that was really the first big stop of this game.
And Fedzima, the quarterback, from his linebacking spot there, Dave Fedzima coming up with the big tackle, leading the charge.
So that is where Colonia will take over. First down on the on their own 28-yard line. And I have to tell you, I didn't see too many players leave the field for Colonia.
A lot of kids going both ways.
Yeah. We have a whistle.
Ooh.
Flag. What is this all about?
Quarterback to quarterback. Ryan Costantino just laid one on Fedzima as the whistle blew.
Flag coming from the backfield here. Oh, is that an equipment foul? Not having your mouthpiece in or something?
I missed the call, Jim.
I believe that's it. I believe that's the call. 5 yards marked off against East Brunswick. I have suspicion it was something like that because the foul was called by this field judge back here. So an easy 5 yards for Colonia. Making it 1st and 5. Fedzina, pitch back. Man, he gets away with that. Oh, let's see. I thought I saw Costantino down.
what you're saying, Jim. When he pitches it, it's better than a little bit close. He's getting hit at the time he's pitching it. Sooner or later, something's going to happen with
Right.
that.
I'm waiting for that opportunity where the hit's going to come just a little sooner than the pitch. Gain is up to the 37-yard line, so it's going to be 2nd and 1.
Second down.
And Fazina has been his fashion in short yardage situations, has kept the ball. And they give him the first down.
It's pretty nice when you don't have to go to your fullback or even Ruta in short yard situations. Your fullback can take it and pick up that all-important first down.
Fazina gives to Ruta. This time he's tackled. Costantino was the one that wrestled him down. That was Drabowski.
I'll tell you, along with Zukas.
Gets himself 2 yards on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd down and 8.
They've been bringing them in tight enough, Jim, here. They might try to slip a pass in right here.
Okay. Fazina, wide pitch, but this time they got, oh, yes they do. Boy, I thought he almost lost the ball on that. Good recovery there.
I'll tell you, Dave Farrar.
Yeah.
Dave Farrar coming up with a big tackle right there.
And that was actually a loss on the play. Back to the 38, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
And I tell you, Fazima, if he's seen tape, he might be a little bit reluctant to put it up there because this Bear defensive backfield has been thieves. They've had several interceptions.
Okay. 3rd and 10 for the Patriots. East Brunswick looks like they're coming, and gosh.
Well, what happened there with Zukas? Zukas is trying to actually get back, but ended up tripping over one of his own teammates and fell into that neutral zone.
And an easy 5 yards for Colonia once again now makes it 3rd and 5.
And when it's 3rd and 5, what do? They go to Mr. Ruta.
Yes, they have. Fazina's going to pass. Looks down along. It's caught. Beautiful pass. And a key play for Colonia.
I believe that's Nick.
I haven't a clue who caught that, honestly. It looks like Ruta, or it could be Ritska. Nonetheless, Colonia gets a big first down,
right.
Down to the 30-yard line.
You're right, it's Ruta. Ruta, that's Nick Risco. Wide receiver, 5'8", 175.
First down for Colonia. And the give is up the middle. And that's big yardage.
And Colonia shown a little emotion there.
That was,
Lakubu excited about a block he threw downfield.
that was a 7-yard gain. East Brunswick is having a difficult time now. They really needed to make that stop. That it didn't help that that penalty on the offside set up that pass play. So, see, the success for Colonia has been that they've got very good yardage on first down. Ruta pounds the ball down, and he has another first down for Colonia. And if ever East Brunswick needed to stop here, this is it.
That's right, because the Patriots are saying, let's get physical as they drive it down.
Pazina gives to Ruda, gets great yardage. And you're right, they're just blowing them out in the middle there.
I'll tell you, Ruda had 13 carries during the first half, Jim. And I don't know how many he has the second half, but he'll probably have around 30 carries before the night's over.
Gain of about 5 yards on the play, making it 2nd and 5. Pazina gives to Ruda, who else? And
I know what you're saying, Jim. I just don't.
He's got another first down.
I just don't ever.
I didn't even see a hole.
Ever remember seeing such a small guy be such a workhorse?
No, he's also taken advantage of that fine offensive line of Colonia.
Well, he doesn't have a first down.
I'm sorry, you're right, it is. He's got about 4 yards to go. We are down to 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Colonia with a 20-14 lead. Ruda.
Great tackle.
Finally lassoed by number 25, Tommy Corio. East Brunswick really has to take some chances, Phil. So we now have a 4th down, 4th and about 6. Colonia looks like they might talk it over here. And they do. They take a timeout. Obviously a big play in this game. East Brunswick's the team that calls timeout. East Brunswick is the team that calls timeout.
And you see Nick Spadafino walking out on the field to talk to his defensive troops there.
Right.
To try to somehow stop the Patriots.
Well, you've got about 6 or 7 new players come out for Colonia on this. I wonder what that means. Ball is on, just about on the 15-yard line. They need to get to the 10.
They're not going to try a field goal here, are they?
Well, they're setting up for one.
Kicking game hasn't been kind to them this
It really
today,
hasn't. They haven't been successful at all. This would be a 33-yarder, but
when you
based
think,
on those extra points.
That's why I said when you think about the fact that they got an extra point blocked here, they're really taking.
This is quite a risk for Colonia. It really is.
Well, the point is, Jim, you can't run one back. If they block it, they can't run it back. So.
And it is off to the left. At the distance, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, and you see the sidelines, the Bears jumping up and down. All they want is an opportunity. 4:17 left, and they're going to get their opportunity.
And is that strategy going to backfire for Colonia? Plenty of time now, 4:17.
As I said, as we pointed out, surprise considering they had so much problems with their kicking game.
Well, I was quite shocked to see that they actually got it past the line of scrimmage. Important to note here that with 4:17, East Brunswick doesn't have to resort to getting away from its
No, they just run their offense, Jim. That's the nature of it.
Cosentino holds on to it, and he is met after gaining about 3 yards, perhaps 2. We'll see. Well, they give him a 3-yard gain on the play, making it 2nd and 7. Cosentino drops back, lofts one over the middle, and it's
mercy.
dropped by Hurley.
Mercy, mercy.
You couldn't have it thrown any better than that. It was soft.
You couldn't have it thrown any better, Jim. It's just a matter at the very last second. You hear coaches talk about look the ball into your hands and whatnot. It didn't get looked in that time, unfortunately. Fine throw by Costa.
It was just so nicely thrown. So with that incomplete pass, it makes it 3rd and 7.
might look for your tight end again.
Costantino, they're going to rush him. He gets away from one, throws it down long.
Oh.
And what do we got here?
Some bumping, no call.
They didn't call it.
No call. And Christian Oslo saying, hey, I didn't trip or anything.
East Brunswick coaches are saying the same thing. So that brings up a 4th down. You got to wonder if East Brunswick is going to punt with 3:30 left to go.
I think they are, Jim.
Yeah, they really do. And Colonia calls timeout. We've had timeouts called at the
And you
oddest
see Ben
times.
LaSalle over on the other sideline waving his arms frantically. And running out onto the field is Don Suffolconic. Of course, the coach that played here at East Brunswick in 1988, coached for the Bears in 1994-95, and now on the Patriot staff, and obviously doing a fine job. He is the defensive coordinator. And on the other end, if the camera will move, you got Marcus Boarding out talking to his troops there. Letting them know we got to play smart ball. I got to believe they're going to punt here, though, Jim.
Okay. And guess what? Phil?
They still may. Let's see.
All right.
They are not.
Costantino drops back, looks, throws down the middle, and it's just too long for Yanazzo, I believe.
And Costantino down on his knees there. He really wanted that one.
And Colonia will take over on the, let's see where that ball is, on the East Brunswick 23-yard line.
I'll tell you, with 3:23 left and a ball-controlled offense, exactly what Colonia wants. They'll just control that ball. They're not worried about scoring or anything.
Fazina to Ruda up the middle, it looks like.
And the Bears will call timeout, Jim.
All right, they've already used one, so that's their second. Gain of just about 3 yards on that play.
And you see Ben LaSala coming out on the field now for Colonia. He's in his third year and certainly has done a fine job at Colonia. In his first 2 years, he was 13-5. So now looking forward to Group 3 playoffs and trying to have a home team advantage.
Okay. Got to say that the Group 3 play, actually the section is not going to be easy. You've got some quality teams down there.
You got some
including
teams
Neptune.
there.
Neptune is really the team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They're down in that Shore A conference, and boy, I'll tell you what, they got some power. Give is Drabowski, and he sort of just follows the pile.
And the Bears call.
Their last time out.
Well, you could go back to the decision to go for it again. Borden had to be thinking that, listen, this has been the Patriots have been a ball-controlled offense all day. They got those big linemen, and if we kicked it to them, they'd pretty much do the same thing, just control the ball and try to eat up some clock. So we don't know if we'll get the ball back, so we got to go for something here. They did. It just didn't work.
So the clock shows 3:07 left to go in this game. East Brunswick used its 2 timeouts here very wisely. And if they are successful in keeping Colonia from converting this first down, they'll get the ball back with at least over 2 minutes to go. We'll see. Right now, it's 3rd and about 5. It's a long 5. And you've noted that Ruda has been the feature back in this situation. Fedzina, though, keeps it himself. And let's see where they're going to mark that ball.
And still manages to pick up nearly 3 yards.
Yeah, but he's well short of the first down by about 3 yards. So it's going to be 4th and 3. And Phil, I can't imagine that Colonia is going to have a rego at that field goal.
No, they're going to.
They're going to think about it, that's for sure.
No, they're going to keep control of it, Jim, and let the clock run down, and then attempt to run, I'm sure.
Well, they have already used a good chunk of clock here. Fourth and 3. And they do call too much time.
Delay of game.
Yep. And that's an important call right there.
Well, it stops the clock.
Moves them back 5. So not only does it stop the clock, but it makes that 4th down conversion even more difficult.
I'll tell you, Ben LaSalle on the other side is not happy.
They call timeout.
He's very unhappy. He threw his clipboard down. He wanted them to run down some time off the clock, but certainly not to get the delay of game, because the delay of game stopped the clock anyway. And he's coming out on the field, and he's not happy with someone. And I know what Ben LaSalle is really concerned about. He has already said that Ryan Costantino probably could be one of the best drop-back passers you have around here, and he's fearful that if the Bears get the ball back, that's all the Bears are going to do is start passing it, and it could hurt them.
Here's that 4th down again. They need about 8 yards. Fezina is back to pass, looks and lofts it down, and it is caught.
Oh, mercy.
And it is a touchdown.
Mercy. Did he ever lay it in there?
Wow.
Unbelievable call.
Pass is caught by number 83 for Colonia.
That's
Rapizzi.
Rapizzi.
And that'll put the clincher on.
I tell you, LaSalle called that play himself as he walked out on the field, and Fezina put it right up there for Rapizzi.
Phil, Colonia has not thrown the ball much tonight, but when they have, they've been successful. And that makes the score 26-14 now. Colonia extending its lead with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter. And now, Phil, we got to start looking at points, power points, and this sort of thing, and see what happens.
Well, but the game's not over yet, Jim. There's 2:09 left. But if you want to talk about it, the thing is, I don't think the Bears can be overly concerned about this game here. They knew they were in the playoffs. Yes, they would have liked to win this game. Yes, they would have liked to have had home field advantage. But the fact of the matter, it's playoff time,
right,
and you got to get your playoff mindset ready to go. So if they have to play away, they'll play away. They just got to get their game together. That's all.
Well, this loss here is going to assure that they're playing away.
And Colonia, on the other hand, this win here assures that they'll have be in the top 4 in their group and have home field advantage. But like I say, you got 2:09 left. And there's some discussion down there with the officials. You have to assume it's a penalty of some sort against Colonia. I didn't see them celebrating, but they may have been. Okay, it's equipment. Okay, as you can see, they're adjusting equipment on Dave Farrar.
Just to let you know that of those teams still involved in Central Jersey Group 4, Trenton, who is 4-3, is playing at Lawrence tomorrow. And as we mentioned, Middletown South is at Manalapan, so that's a key game.
As the Patriots missed the 2-point conversion.
Phil, I'm also looking at, as you discussed that, I think East Brunswick wants to avoid being the 8th seed, and I'll tell you why they stand a good chance of not. West Windsor, which is just below them with a 5-2 record.
Right.
You know who they play tonight?
Who?
Hunterdon Central. So,
They should be in pretty good shape.
at worst, East Brunswick is going to fall to no less than a 7 seed, which means that they would match up with perhaps Manalapan, perhaps Saraville, perhaps Piscataway.
I'll tell you,
It's really interesting.
It certainly gets interesting.
Yeah.
And Colonia, on the other hand, should they win, are going to get a bunch of power points for beating a Group 4 school, and they're going to be right up there, perhaps behind Hamilton West.
And if you take a look at J.P. Stevens, J.P. Stevens with a 5-2 record, they only have 48 power points, but they have Saraville tonight. And Saraville's really, in actuality, is not going to get any more power points, so J.P. Stevens can find themselves jumping up to a home field position. All this will shake out after this weekend's game. Nonetheless, East Brunswick takes the ball, and Pleasant, I think, has it. And he advances the ball to the 30-yard line. East Brunswick will start.
And you can look for Ryan and company to put the ball in the air practically every play.
Yep. You throw the E-bone out the window. The objective is to get down and score and see if you can recover an onside kick.
Okay, Rob King spread right along with Hurley.
Straight drop back for Cosentino. Elects to run with it, and he's brought down.
And Respitzy making the tackle. Big day for him. Scored on a touchdown pass.
2nd and 11. Cosentino lofts one and almost picked off by Lukabu.
I'll tell you, a fine defensive job.
I'm sorry, that was Eddie Ford. I haven't called his number tonight.
Eddie Ford getting up his hand there, knocking the ball down.
3rd and 11. Minute 36 left. Movement on the right side of the East Brunswick line.
I think you're right.
Legal procedure is the call. That's a 5-yard penalty. And that'll bring the ball back to the 27-yard line, where it'll still remain 3rd down, except East Brunswick will have about 15 yards to go. So a fine win here for Colonia, and that is going to help them enormously.
As I said, Jim, they should probably end up being rated number 2 in Group 3.
You think so?
I
You think they're going to surpass Neptune?
I think they could, yes.
All right. Again, it's strictly a PowerPoint comparison. And there's a hitch play.
Hook
that
and ladder.
Gets a little bit. But Colonia was playing back. So it is a 4th down for East Brunswick. Clock shows a minute 20. They got 4th and about 7 yards to go. Cosentino drops, connects with number 80, Rod King, who drops the ball.
It's just, again, a matter of looking the ball in there. You got to make sure you catch it first.
It really is. I mean, you can't have it. You can't blame Cosentino on any of these passes. He has seen 3 passes drop tonight on him, one in a crucial spot. And that is really going to put the clamps on this game. So with a minute 7 left to go, Colonia will take over and will leave East Brunswick with a very satisfying victory. Fedzina takes a knee. Clock is not running for some reason.
And Jim, you're right. This game's over. The interesting thing is that
All right, now I think they're going to stop the clock and evaluate how much time actually did go off the clock, because our clock keeper down below did not start the clock at the snap of the ball.
and they're telling them to wind some time down now, Jim.
And they will. And now they stop it. 53 seconds left to go. Boy, you got to believe that Don Sofoconic is one happy assistant coach over there.
I can tell you he certainly is. Any coach would be, but I think he especially is for a number of reasons.
Benzina, another knee.
I was saying, Jim, the interesting thing is that I think the Bears may see someone that they've played already, and that should be interesting. Could be.
You're thinking Piscataway and Saraville.
And Saraville,
right?
J.P.
Or
Stevens.
J.P. Stevens.
Yeah. Would be interesting.
That is one of the. I wish there was something in the playoff system, but I guess it's kind of hard. That if you already met an opponent, you would automatically revert to another seed, but that would be impossible. You'd have all kinds of combinations. So that's going to do it.
Okay, you see
Clock winds down to 0.
You see Don Sofoconic on the screen there, and they got a right to be happy.
They really do. The final score: East Brunswick losing to Colonia 26-14.
Sofoconic hugging Ryan Costantino right there. Nice scene.
Yeah, there's some quality ball players out there for both teams. A couple of them are going to go on to play some major college football, perhaps. And it was a nice. Do you want to say something?
Well, just that the Bears got to put this in perspective, Jim. This game is behind them and whatnot. It's state playoff, and the whole town should be excited about that. The Bears haven't been in state playoff since 1994, and they have an opportunity to do something with the talent they have this year.
All right, so we're going to wait till the end of this weekend to determine just exactly how all this shakes out, but you can be assured that East Brunswick will be traveling to the field of the higher-seeded team that they will play, and we'll just have to find out who that may be. But for right now, East Brunswick on the downside of a 26-14 score brings their record to 5-3. Colonia moves to 6-2. So that'll do it here from J. Doyle Field. The final score: Colonia 26, East Brunswick 14. For Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.